Welcome back tonight to Black History Month, the hidden gems of CNY. We've focused on so many bright spots, and we're so happy about that, but we can't let this moment pass without a focus on something else that is deeply important.
We're turning our focus to a topic that's too hidden in Black communities: mental health awareness. Morgan Scott reports.
Help others, and that's what she said in her last text in her phone. Mommy, if you read this, I am so sorry, but help those get what I never received.
It's been almost 6 years since Felicia lost her daughter Jasmine to suicide.
She was a beautiful, kind-hearted, sweet young lady that had a heart big as the world.
Jasmine was only 22 years old.
She's always was there for the people, her friends. No matter her struggles, she was always there to help them in their own struggles.
Without her daughter, it's Felicia who has struggled for years trying to cope and come to terms with her daughter being gone. In 2021, suicide was among the top 9 leading causes of death in the U.S. Between 2018 and 2021, suicide rates amongst Black people aged 10 to 24 jumped more than 36%, the largest increase amongst any racial group. For Black adults 25 to 44, suicide rates increased by 23%. Despite those high numbers, Hayes admits mental health was not often a discussion in her household.
I didn't know what I was seeing. Now that I study it, I look at the risk factors now, and I'm like, wow, those are the things I was seeing, but I didn't know.
Simone Adams is part of the only 7% of Black licensed marriage and family therapists. Despite her now 19 years of practice in psychology, discussing mental health issues was also once very taboo for her.
You know, enslaved people were, killed, tortured, sold, and separated from their families. And so I think it makes sense what would happen is that parents taught their children, don't let people know we're struggling. Don't let any outsiders know if you're having a hard time, because that can have tremendous consequences.
But much like Felicia Hayes, she's hoping to help change the narrative in her community.
Within our communities, having more conversations really emphasize not only the need for mental health services in the Black community, but also decreasing the stigma of what it means to go see a therapist.
A stigma Felicia hopes to break as she raises money and awareness for mental health services through her My Special Angel Jasmine Foundation. One final message her daughter can send to everyone.
I'm a mother that lost a child. I should be somewhere strung out, somewhere losing my mind. But God gave me the strength to do this mission, and I'm going to stand on this mission and vision for my daughter to help somebody else's child live through Jasmine.
And Morgan is with us now. What a powerful story. This mother is it strikes me that she's in this sort of club that no mother wants to be in. Is she finding other people like her to talk about this with, to move forward?
You know, Michael, she shared with me that it took her a little while before she was able to even get out there and try to reach out to other people. Yeah. And I think her first experience at seeing that, other people are going through this was an event at Long Branch Park. I think every year they have a suicide prevention walk.
They do.
And when she got there, she was like, wow, I'm not alone in this. And that was something that was very shocking to her.
No. Morgan, how did you feel, though, when you were talking to her? This is no easy conversation to be had, especially us both being Black women, hearing about this. And I just want to ask you, how did it feel?
For me, it was a bit surreal, just the relatability. I don't necessarily share that same sentiment of having lost a daughter, but just to know that, these are common issues within our communities where we're not talking about mental health. It's often what stays in the house. What happens in the house stays in the house. So just to hear a lot of her experiences and her not knowing, even in her adulthood, it hit home for sure, for sure, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Morgan. This was a very important topic to address. I really appreciate this report.
Oh, happy to share.
Very good, and so happy that she was willing to share so publicly with us. Okay, we are going to lighten things up when we come back with wine.
Bringing the community together through wine, from Syracuse to living around the world and back home again. The woman you'll meet now was doubted earlier on.
She was. And Megan Coleman tonight introduces us to this downtown Syracuse success story.
It's always a good day when you can start with wine.
All the time.
Don't you think?
And even a little
Spend just 5 minutes with Shaw McCoy, and you will immediately be in awe of all she knows. She's the owner of The Communion in the State Tower building in downtown Syracuse.
We're excited to just have people explore the world of wine through us.
She opened the boutique wine and spirit shop in October of 2022. But her roots are downstate, where she got her start hosting wine dinners in her Harlem apartment. We recently sat down over a bottle of Pinot Noir Rosé, made by acclaimed black winemaker and sommelier Andre Mack. I don't know if I'm as talented as she is with my swirls. You're good at it. It takes a little skill. Oh, there it goes. And the 5 S's when it comes to wine. C, swirl.
The next S is going to be?
Smell.
That's right.
Sip and savor.
So if anything you smell, cantaloupe, kiwi, white strawberry, those are notes that I get from this one. Now you want to confirm on palate that you actually are tasting that.
McCoy studied civil engineering at Syracuse University before living in Italy, Chile, and Portugal, where she fell in love with wine and became a sommelier. You are almost like an encyclopedia of wine. To watch it is really fascinating. Do you feel like it's become sort of part of your DNA?
Yes. Wow. I think that there's something to say now when people, you recognize in any trade, such as yourself, that you also have to become fluent in the language of your industry.
She entered the field feeling like she would have to prove herself.
To be able to enter the industry, I realized it was very difficult being a young African-American woman, trying to make inroads in an industry that don't accept me.
And says she quickly realized she would have to work twice as hard to succeed. What does it mean to you to be a successful black business owner in this wine space?
Everything. I think that, a lot of what I'm hoping to do, even with my team here and moving forward, is that for those who've been cast out the opportunity, whether being a woman, being black or BIPOC, whether it's an LGBTQ plus, if you identify as, I think that there is something to say, how do we represent that on the floor?
These days, she hosts community tasting events. She tries to highlight black, women, and local wine and spirit producers, hoping to give voice and opportunity to other minorities. What would you say to a young black girl in Syracuse who might have a dream to get into this space or something else, but isn't really sure what her path is?
I feel like I always say what I did, I guess, is that I just look to people who did it before me.
So find an inspiration.
For sure, like a role model.
I'm Megan Coleman reporting.
Michael, we're going to go there. McCoy hosts her signature beverage pairing dinner series and wine tastings at The Communion.
And she's expanding into spirits.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight for Black History Month, the Hidden Gems of CNY. I'm Alora Lagarde.
I'm Michael Benny. Good night.